the departure of Saint Abraam Ebn-Zaraa, 62nd Pope of Alexandria. On this day of the year 970 AD, the Saint Abraham, the 62nd Pope of Alexandria, departed. This father was a descendant of the Christians of the East, whose name was Ebn-Zaraa the Syrian. He was a rich merchant who visited Egypt often, then finally settled there. He was blessed with many virtues, including mercy to the needy. His reputation of the righteousness and knowledge became well known. When the patriarchal chair became vacant, the bishops and the land elders all agreed to choose him as patriarch. When he sat on the chair of the see of Saint Mark, he gave all his possessions to the poor and needy. During his days, Cosmas Ibn Mina, the Coptic minister, was appointed a governor over Palestine. Before his departure to his new position, he entrusted 100,000 dinars to the father the patriarch, asking him to tell them until his return. He asked the Pope to give the monastery to the poor, the needy, the churches and the monasteries if he died there. When the news of the taking over the Syria and Palestine by half-king Marty reached the patriarch, he thought that Cosman had died. He distributed that money according to Cosman's instructions, but Cosman was saved from death and returned to Egypt. This father, the patriarch, told him what he did with the money, and Cosman was glad and exceedingly happy. Among his accomplishments was the abolition of some corrupt and erroneous customs. He prevented and excommunicated everyone who took bribes from anyone for the purpose of gaining a clerical position. He also strongly forbade the keeping of concubines. When the people who were practicing that knew his orders, the fear of God moved them, for they were also feared that the patriarch might excommunicate them. They set all the concubines free and went to the patriarch repenting, except from one of the rich men of the country. This man did not fear God, nor did he hid the fact that his father, who cited him repeatedly and was very patient with him, would excommunicate him. He did not return from his evil way, and was not afraid lest God should destroy him. In spite of that, his father did not slacken in teaching and rebuking him. Furthermore, he humbled himself like Christ, his teacher, and he went to that man's house. When the man heard of the arrival of the party to his house, he shut the door and refused to let him in. The father remained standing at the door for 2 hours knocking, but the man neither opened the door for him nor did he speak to him. The father realized that this wise man had intentionally separated himself from the flock of Christ and became a corrupt member. The Pope saw the Pope saw it fit to cut him from the body of the church so as not to corrupt the rest of the body. He excommunicated him, saying, "Let his blood be on his own head." And then the Pope shook off the dust of his sandals at the door of the house of that man. At this moment, God manifested a sign before the eyes of those who were present, for, for the doorstep, which was made of granite, had split in two. Later on, the Lord stopped his mic, and the man lost all his wealth, and he was fired from his position in disgrace. He became ill, which led to his death in a horrible way. He became an example to the others, since many sinners learned a lesson and were afraid as a result of what happened to him. During the days of this father, El-Mu'iz the Caliph had a Jewish vizier. His name was Jacob ibn Yusuf, who adopted the Muslim faith Islam. The minister had a Jewish friend Ibn Kilis, who, who used to go with him frequently to the Caliph and converse with him. The Jew took advantage of the favor that his friend had with Khalifa and found this to be an opportunity to ask for the patience of the father, the, the patriarch, in order that he might have a debate with him. Abraham came along with the Anba Severus el Mukafa, bishop of Asmunin, and Muiz ordered them to sit. So they sat down silently. He asked, "Why are you not debating?" Anba Severus answered, "How can we argue in the presence of El Khalifa with a man who is less intelligent than an ox?" El Muiz asked for an explanation. Anba Severus said, "God has declared by the mouth of the prophet, the ox gnaws its udder and the donkey its master creep, but Israel does not know." They debated the Jew and shamed him with all the unrefutable arguments that prove the soundness of the Christian faith. Then they left El-Muiz with great honor. The minister and his Jewish friend were not able to bear the insults, so they sought the chance to take revenge on Christians. A few days later, the Jewish vizier Jacob ibn Yusuf went to El-Muiz and maliciously told him, "Your Royal Highness knows that the faith of the Christians does not have a sound base. The Bible states, if you have faith as a grain of mustard seed, you shall say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move." Prince of the faithful knows the falsehood of these things, and to verify this, we will summon the patriarch to give us the proof that the Christ saying that true. The Caliph thought to himself, if the saying of Christ is true, that would be of great benefit to us, for the Mount is too close to Cairo. If the mountain can be moved away, that would make the position of the city greater than what it is now. If the saying is not true, that will give us the justification to persecute the Christians. El-Muiz called the father the patriarch and called this saying before him and asked for the proof of its soundness. The Pope asked for a 3-day respite, which was granted. When the Pope left El Khalifa, he gathered the monks and the bishops nearby, and they all stayed in El Mu'allaqah, the suspended church in Old Cairo, 3 days fasting and supplicating God. Before dawn of the third day, as Abraam dozed off, out of sick weariness of Holy Lady the Virgin Saint Mary, the Mother of God, appeared to him and told him to rise up and go to the street which leads to the market. When he could find a one-eyed man bearing a pot of water on his shoulder, she instructed Abraham to tell him that he was the man designated by God to perform the sign. This holy man's name was Simon, and he was a tanner. The father, the patriarch, took him along with some of the priests, monks, and people to see El-Muiz, who was out with the government leaders and the nobles of the city nearby the Mukattam mountain. The father, the patriarch, stood with those who were with him on one side, and El-Muiz and his entourage stood on the other side. The father, the patriarch, and the believers prayed and knelt down 3 times, and every time they knelt, they said, Kyrie eleison, Lord have mercy. Whenever the patriarch and the congregation lifted up their hands after each bow, the mountain would lift up, and when they bowed down, the mountain was locked down to the ground, and whenever they walked, the mountain moved before them. A great fear came on the Caliph and his companions, and many fell on the ground. The Caliph advanced on his horse toward the patriarch and said, "O great teacher, I know that I know that you are a holy man. Ask whatsoever you wish, and I will give it to you." The patriarch refused to ask for anything, but when the Caliph insisted, he asked the governor to allow him to build churches, especially the church of Saint Mercurius of the Two Swords, which was in Old Cairo. He wrote him a decree permitting to build the building and the renovation of the churches, and he gave him a large sum of money from the treasury. The patriarch thanked him and prayed for him, but he refused to take money. As a result, Al-Muis referred and respected him for his piety and righteousness. When they started building the church of Saint Mercurius, some even prevented them from walking. Where, whereupon Al-Muis came to the site and kept the troublemakers away. He remained there, standing until they completed laying the foundation. This further renovated many churches all over the See of St. Mark. When he completed his course, he departed in peace after he sat on the chair for 3 years and 6 days. His, his prayers be with us, Amen. On this day also, we commemorate Saint Anatolius, the priest and martyr. His prayers be with us, and glory be to our God forever, Amen.